Jury selection in the Steve Nodine murder trial got underway today at the Baldwin County Courthouse.
Nodine is charged with killing his longtime girlfriend Angel Downs on Mother's Day this year. Fox News reporter April Douglas has been in the courtroom all day. She joins us live again with the latest. April, have they seated a jury?
No, they have not seated a jury in this case. They started with 61 and shot that in half by lunchtime today, but they have not seated a jury, and they've called out the process for the rest of the day. They'll resume tomorrow morning here at 9 a.m. Now, part of picking a jury, it requires that you question potential jurors on a number of issues and maybe what they've heard about this case before coming to the courthouse today. Now, one issue that the defense did spend a lot of time on was the issue of suicide, and surprisingly, a lot of people today either knew someone who had attempted suicide or committed suicide. The defense maintains that Angel Downs did commit suicide on Mother's Day, while the state says Steve Nodine shot her.
Stephen Ruther?
One by one, potential jurors file into Judge Charles Pardon's Baldwin County courtroom. The district attorney's office, along with defense attorneys for Steve Nodine, hopes 16 of them will be fit to serve on the jury. Part of picking a jury includes polling the pool of potential jurors. Defense attorney Dennis Nisley asked a lot of questions about suicide and if any of the potential jurors had a personal connection to the subject. One woman said her aunt, who was the same age as Angel Downs, committed suicide with a gunshot wound to the head.
I'm looking for jurors that can understand what the truth is.
The defense maintains Angel Downs committed suicide. The state says Steve Nodine had been stalking his mistress and killed her. Nisley says his client is anxious to get the trial underway.
He has been arrested twice for the same thing and having to make bond for it, but he's held up quite well, and now he's very happy that we have the day in court where the state's now going to be called upon to prove these allegations, and we're looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
Now, that was one of the first questions that they asked potential jurors is, can you devote at least 2 weeks to this case? Those that said they couldn't were dismissed automatically. They also talked about pretrial publicity and if any of them had formed an opinion. Now, today in court, Steve Nodine's mother and sister were here to support him. We have not seen any of Angel Downs' family in the courtroom. But today, the state did talk about the witnesses it plans to call that we may see in the courtroom. And joining us now is Chastity Bird, who spent the day in court with me. And the state, it was a lengthy list of people that they plan to call in this.
That's right, Abel. It was a very long list, and the prosecution read this list one by one, and if anyone in the jury pool knew someone on that potential witness list, they had to speak up. Of course, on that list, Mobile County Sheriff Sam Cochran is on the witness list, as well as Nodine's ex-wife Kimberly, County Attorney Jay Ross, and former attorney for the county, Mark Irwin. Ross and Irwin went to Nodine's house not long after the shooting and confiscated guns from his home.
Did you think at any time that you might be actually tampering with evidence by doing this?
I got to tell you, under those circumstances and based on what information had already been reported in the news earlier that day, that was at that point not even anything that we were considering or thinking about.
Of course, that was Bob Grip interviewing earlier this year. A formal jury was not selected today, but that process is expected to continue tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., where a jury is expected to be seated. Of course, we'll be here with team coverage. We'll also be online on fox10tv.com, Facebook, and Twitter to give you a front row seat to the trial. Reporting live from Bay Minette, Chastity Bird, Fox 10 News.